Take it up now and follow.
Yeah, good morning to you. It's 29 minutes on to the off 7 o'clock. And it's that time of morning again. As my uncle Augustine would say, before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, I've got some information that I want to run by you, okay? Now hear this. Do you have any photos or paintings or graphic designs depicting Grenada's intangible cultural heritage? Well, if so, you can win $500 as part of the Proud of My Heritage photo competition by the Grenada National Trust and UNESCO. Now we're looking for images showcasing Shotney, Shakespeare Mass, Jab Jab, Maypole, Quadrille, dancing of the flags and cake, drumming, string band music, Saraka and the Nation dance, sugaring the piton, finishing of fishing boats and boat building. Alright, so pictures depicting Shotney, Shakespeare Mass, Jab Jab, Maypole, Quadrille, dancing of the flags and cake, drumming, string band music, Saraka and Nation dance, sugaring of the piton, fishing boats and boat building. Well, if you've got these pictures, now you can submit them. The deadline for submission is this Friday, the 4th of November. And the Proud of My Heritage photo contest is open to all ages and has a special children's category attracting a $300 prize. For more information and to submit your images, visit www.grenadanationaltrust.org, that's org/photo contest. Alright, that's an easy way to make some money. Good, nice. So let us head to the word of the day. The word of the day for this morning. It's sallow. S-A-L-L-O-W. And sallow means of a grayish, greenish yellow color and often suggests sickle cells or sickliness rather. Yeah, often suggests a sickliness. She returned from her sick leave still looking a bit sallow. After he got the news, he had a sallow look on his face. So remember that, the word for the day, sallow, S-A-L-L-O-W, and it's an adjective. And it means of a grayish, greenish, yellow color and often suggests sickliness. It can be used in a sentence. She returned from her sick leave, still looking a bit sallow. And let us head to the thought of the day. And hear this one. I love this one. It says, whatever the mind of a man conceive and believe, it can achieve. Whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It ties in with something I was listening to this morning. It all starts in the mind. Joel said, it's not too late, it's still going to happen. You had it in your mind, but your plan got a bit derailed. Don't give up on them. No. It's still going to happen. The negative forces have a way of getting into your system and creating doubt and fear. That spirit of fear, yeah? Combat it, win it, and your life will be at so much peace. Nice. forget, folks, you can join the GBN for Jingle and Mingle. The mid-morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday to Friday. Commences on November 11th and runs to the 23rd, the eve of the eve. It will be on K105 and all our social media platforms. Yeah, join us there, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun, man. A whole lot of fun. Good. Okay, so what's buzzing this morning? Let's see what some of the things that we will be looking at this morning, and of course, homicide is going to dominate this morning. And I had that in mind last night. Was trying to contact. As a matter of fact, I'll pass there later today. I've got to pass by Tyrone, Legal Aid and Counseling. I want to have him on a program one of these mornings, because we're still seeing quite a rise in violence, gender-based violence. All right, we've got 2 cases. A verdict: Randy John was found guilty of capital murder, and he will return to court for sentencing on December 20th. All right, that's one. And then we heard of the gruesome murder in Beaton yesterday, and as I hinted earlier, I happen to be good friends with both parties. Mr. Godfrey Simeon, we call him Moose, and also Andrea. Man, this is heart-wrenching, really sad. I want to say a special good morning to all the folks inside of Beaton, Nice It Up, and Carl Patey, and Carla, and Kiana, and Diana. Good morning to all of you. All the wonderful folks inside of Beaton. I know the village would be in mourning, in grief, It's sad, given the circumstances. But, these things happen. It's hard to deal with. Gabriella, I can't remember the name of the boy and the bigger girl. That's the children of the 2. Good morning to you. I do hope that you get the right help at this time. Yeah, it's important. As I said, I expect the school counseling system to kick in. I expect the religious society to kick in, because the children will need some sort of counseling. They've lost both parents, you can say. All right, so we'll be looking at that. If we get the time, we're going to look at the pairing of ministries. The financial literacy within schools has been a clarion call from many sectors, including young people, to truly be equipped to handle the socioeconomic challenges of Grenada. The merger of education, youth development, and empowerment is the focus. Yeah, I don't know if we'll have time to touch this morning, because I really want us to zero in on this gender-based violence and people's inability to cope with anger, the lack of anger management. So we'll be looking at that after 7 this morning. I know the calls will come in, and let me prompt you early. All right, in the course of our discussion this morning on the issue, I expect you to be mindful of the things that you say. Let you trim your language. I know some people will be angry. Some people, you've got to be careful. All right, good, because I have the powers right in my hand to cut the calls. All right, if you're going in the wrong direction, I will. We want it to be a sort of supporting thing, advice. Well, how could we deal with this? What needs to be done? Some folks are blaming the judicial system and so forth. I don't know. I mean, this is just, And for those of you who know the situation well, Andrea lost her brother in a similar fashion a couple of years back. So I don't know, man. Nonetheless, folks, it's 20 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. All right, former Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance and now Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is urging former government workers who will soon collect their retroactive pension payment to plan prudently for their hard-earned money. Yeah, the pension thing. Well, Grenadians like to save. I mean, most Grenadians, because at one point it was reported that Grenada had the most savings in the ECCU. You know, Grenadians, a couple of weeks back, I had this conversation with Miss Alana Joseph and the other lady from the ECCU, the Securities Exchange, and, encouraging people to invest. All right, it is believed that Grenadians like to see the money in the bank account. They like to see the bank account fat and high, but invest it. All right, so Timothy Antoine is urging folks to be prudent in the way they plan to use that money. Look for safe investment opportunities. They are there. You gotta contact the right people. Give Miss Alana Joseph a call at the Grenada Cooperative Bank. There are other financial institutions that you can invest in. All right, Grenadians are proud of the people, and the recent promotion of Dr. Jennifer A. Marast, host in the United States Army, is what has been creating a buzz on social media recently. Yeah, these are the stories that we will be looking at this morning. But like I said, I want us to zero in mostly on the verdict and also this horrendous act yesterday. Let's not look at the people involved. Let's look at the spirit behind it. The sooner we get to understand that, we operate in a spiritual world, spirit-filled world, the sooner we'll really come to terms with life. I no longer look at the actions of people. No. What's motivating the actions? So that's what we'll be buzzing this morning. Once again, I want to say a special good morning to all the students of the nation. All the students. I want to say good morning also to Marvin and Yvette out there in Wester Hall. That's Wester Hall, Stone Road. All right, good morning to, I can't remember all the children name. I feel so bad about that. They're like my children: Melvon, Melvin, Malina, Shinik, and what is the next? I can't remember. I hope she didn't feel bad about it. But good morning to you, Melvon and Melvin. All right, they're always locked on to GBN. So folks, it's 17 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. This is where we break off in preparation for the AM edition of the news this morning. Those of you on TV, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's GBN television news. See you on the flip side of 7. Have a good day. If you've got to leave us now, have a good day.
Delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
With your new GUT Credit Union Visa debit card, which gives you access to your cash at any Connex or Visa certified ATMs locally and internationally. Make your payments with a tap of your card using the contactless feature and have the freedom to make purchases locally, online, or overseas whenever you travel, anywhere Visa is accepted. Experience the enhanced security fraud protection through the Visa chip technology. If you don't have your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, speak to any one of our representatives today to do more. Your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, a smarter way to access your cash. More smart, more secure.
A woman is dead and a man in custody following a murder in St. David on Monday. Beverly Tellisford has this report.
The week started on a sad note for residents of Beaton St. David. A woman identified as Sharon Andrea Williams, affectionately known as Andrea, was brutally murdered outside her home on Monday morning. It is alleged that Andrea was bludgeoned to death by one of her children's father with a piece of wood before he inflicted chop wounds to her body. Neighbors reportedly heard her cries and rushed to her aid. Unfortunately, despite their attempts to intervene, Andrea could not be saved.
What we saw today, a gentleman, one of her baby fathers, had an altercation with her piece of 2x4 and inflicted wounds to her head and her body, which basically which killed her there. I'm one of the neighbors. My house is just one down from where she lives here. So we rushed in to try to perform some level of aid. However, by the time we got here, it was a little too late to do anything. Unfortunately, he ran off down towards the area of Lakalum, going down through Monjo Hill. So he was able to get away. He sustained some injuries from one of the persons in the area who was trying to rush to the aid of the victim.
The suspect is well known to law enforcement. Sometime in the past, he had spent time in prison for inflicting chop wounds on the victim, which caused the loss of one of her arms. At the time of the GBN interview this morning, a manhunt had been launched to find the man, identified only as Godfrey. Superintendent Esau Pear, commander of the Eastern Division of the Royal Grenada Police Force, had called on the accused to turn himself into police custody.
They received information of very sad nature of the incident here at Beaton. A team of officers, both from the Grenville and St. David's police, backed up by Rapid Response Unit, attended to the location. And at present, the deceased is at the scene. The suspect, Godfrey, as known by, is at large, and we have already commenced operation to try and locate him. We'll be encouraging Godfrey to turn himself in to the police. Anyone having any information of his whereabouts, again, please contact the St. David's police station.
A neighbor recounted her last moments with Andrea on Monday morning.
I wish everybody know the name, but in Jesus' almighty name. This morning, Andrea was down by me. We cook, I eat and everything. We go in tongue day before. We wear same clothes to go to funeral this evening. Okay, so she coming up to base fight to organize. When I heard the news, I was very sad. I was very sad about Andrea. But whoever it is, I got to rest in peace in Jesus' name.
Andrea's death is Grenada's 6th homicide for the year 2022. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
GBN received further reports that the accused named Godfrey Ooze Simeon was subsequently detained by police in connection with the death of Sharon Andrea Williams. Randy John will return to court for sentencing on December the 20th after having been found guilty of capital murder. Sherry Ann Blackman-Stephen reports.
A 12-member jury, after deliberating for 30 minutes, determined that Randy John is guilty of capital murder of 16-year-old Quinette Johnson. Jerry Edwin, the lawyer representing John, says he argued that his client was not liable for capital murder, but the jury decided otherwise. He told GBN that justice was done in this case and spoke to the next phase of the matter.
This is justice, and justice was done in this case. The next step involves obtaining a social inquiry report as well as a psychiatric report. That is the normal procedure whenever a person is convicted of murder in this jurisdiction, whether that murder is capital or non-capital. And on the 20th of December, the judge will sentence him.
Edwin says he will not argue with the jury's verdict, but intends to argue on his client's behalf to not have a life sentence behind bars.
I will argue that he is not entitled, because of his age and other factors, that young Randy John is not entitled to a full life sentence behind bars. The judge is the judge of the law. The jury is the judge of the facts. And the judges of the facts have determined my client's guilt. With respect to the sentence, well, we will argue before the court why he should not be given a full life sentence. And then it is up to the judge to determine what Randy's sentence will be.
Quinette was last seen on Thursday, 18th October 2018, when she left her home to visit relatives in Defu Springs, following a dispute with her sister. Her partially decomposed body was later found in a vacant house in Charlottesville in St. David on the 25th of October. The autopsy conducted revealed that Johnson died as a result of asphyxiation and was believed to have died between the 19th and the 28th of October 2018. Johnson was a former student of both St. Joseph's Convent and Westerhall Secondary. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Evan Smith, the alleged victim in the Fort Judy incident, has died. Beverly Tellisford reports.
Evan Smith, the man at the center of an alleged physical attack by a couple in Fort Judy, St. David in June 2020, has died. Smith had two pending cases before the court, one a criminal matter and the other a civil case resulting from the alleged assault by Sarah Horton and Donald Kavanagh. Smith was accused of killing the couple's dog. The incident sparked outrage among citizens who took protest action seeking justice for Smith. 2 weeks ago, GBN reported that an application was filed for a waiver on the cross-examination of Evan Smith due to his failing health. According to attorney representing Smith in the civil matter, Derek Sylvester, his client's health had worsened since his attack 2 years ago at Fort Judy, St. David. Before the Fort Judy incident, Mr. Smith's health was already challenged. In the last update, Mr. Sylvester spoke to GBN on October 11th about his client's situation prior to his death, when there were plans for the matter to be heard virtually to accommodate Mr. Smith's condition.
The matter is very close to trial. Two applications have been filed. One application actually has been filed. An expert application has been filed in relation to Evan Smith, and we've also filed an application for his evidence to be entered without cross-examination, because now he has certain medical conditions. He has muscular dystrophy, so he cannot speak and he cannot lift his hands, and so it's a condition he had that was worsened as a result of the incident. So he's not residing in Grenada anymore. He's residing now in Guyana with his sister, and he's being taken care of. But
Mr. Sylvester reported today that he will meet with Nicole Smith, the wife of Evan Smith, on Tuesday. In the civil suit, the accused Kavanagh and Horton were sued for multiple things, including assault and battery and trespass to chattel, among other losses. The defendants in that matter were placed on $10,000 bail each. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
GBN is following reports that a former owner of Port Louis and Mount Cinnamon, Peter DeSavery, has passed away. GBN has not been able to independently confirm the news. However, we have been reliably informed that a statement from the DeSavery family is expected to be issued soon. GBN is continuing to follow this story and will bring you a more comprehensive report in another newscast.
The National Insurance Scheme continues to make it easy to access our services using the MyNIS online platform. Now we're introducing a new feature that allows you to submit your benefit claims from the convenience of your smart devices. No paper, no hassle. All you have to do is log in to my.nisgrenada.org. Select claims, fill out the relevant information, and click submit. We'll take it from there. It's It's that simple and that easy. Submit a claim from the comfort of your home as you rest and recuperate. Enjoy the convenience of faster claim processing and monitor the status of your claim every step of the way. We are excited to introduce this new feature to better serve you. NIS is changing the game and the way you make your claim. Access anywhere and anytime with My NIS Online.
Financial literacy within schools has been a clarion call for many sectors, including young people, to truly be equipped to handle the socioeconomic challenges in Grenada. The merger of education, youth development, and empowerment is the focus of this Gerard Joseph report.
Issues of poverty, inflation, low wages, and a disconnect between youth development and education have contributed majorly to the socio-economic problems being faced by Grenadians. An outcry for financial literacy to be included in the curriculum has been seemingly left unheard, while government's youth programs are unable to truly improve the lives of young people. Thus, the question of how the NEC administration plans to connect the disconnect was put to Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Ron Redhead.
So there's a whole question of the mindset change that we spoke about a lot during the campaign. So for example, we are going to incorporate some new items in our curriculum, right? I'm not at liberty to say what those new items are, but I could just give you one example. Coding and how Grenada takes its rightful place in the question of science and technology. That is something that we believe we can change, because immediately, if we do it right, we can create jobs. We can create a new approach to how we get jobs in the first instance. I think COVID-19 taught us a lesson that as a society, there are certain elements that we have to institutionalize and not just keep it as a recreational option or a second option, but have it well incorporated, well embedded.
Minister Redhead believes it is a golden opportunity for collaboration among key ministries and sectors to ensure a reversal and strengthening of youth and nation building.
One of the other things is that the reason why we twinned the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture with education, we saw value in it. You cannot separate the two and expect to have good collaboration. Young people need a clear structure of support. Education, youth in general in terms of the policy, sports, and the question of culture, which deals with the continuation and the education of self, what it means to be a Grenadian, that sort of thing. So all of these will work hand in hand, and combined together, we are confident that we can help to lead the mindset change that we want to lead and to help continue our transformation agenda to develop our people.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, Minister with responsibility for youth, sports, and culture, Ron Redhead, also in a recent exclusive with GBN, noted the ongoing re-engagement of citizens to contribute to the final product of a sports policy.
What we have done differently so far is to organize a secretariat dedicated, so we're not taking ministry staff and bogging anyone down, but is to guarantee that sports policy matters gets addressed in a timely fashion, has a clear dedicated staff towards its implementation, and that at the ministry's level, we currently engaged on the path of engagement with people and consultation as a key. Because I believe that with the implementation of this sports policy, what we are going to be able to solve is a great deal of some of the challenges that our sportsmen and women face.
The sports minister hinted at the maintenance of fields as one of the major challenges hindering sportsmen and women, as well as the overall development of sports in Grenada.
Currently, there is this issue with contracts for fields and its maintenance, right? We are going to roll out very shortly our new policy in dealing with that, and we can't continue. The state is wasting millions of dollars let me rephrase that. The state is spending millions of dollars only to get fields cut in some instances. And then in addition to that, associations cannot access some of these fields. That is unacceptable. So we can't continue along that path. And there is always this whole mix-up between this organization, that organization. So you don't have a clear flow. And so these things hinder the development of sports in a great way. And we are already challenged as a small island developing state. So there are a number of things that we are confident the national sports policy is going to help solve. And we are continuing, as I mentioned, on the part of consultation and engagement with the people.
Grenadians are proud of their people. And the recent promotion of Dr. Jennifer A. Marast, host in the United States Army, is what's been creating a buzz on social media.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz report.
From a Girl Scout brownie in Grenada to a deputy commanding general in the U.S. Army, a Grenadian woman tells her story of success within the U.S. forces. Grenadian-born Dr. Jennifer A. Marast Host entered the United States Army in 1997 and served in many different medical units, taking care of soldiers and commanding medical units as far as the Middle East. Fast forward 25 years later, on November 4th, 2022, Colonel Promotable Marast Host will be promoted to Brigadier General. GBN spoke to Colonel Promotable Marast Host in an exclusive interview on Friday. She gave a background of her career as a civilian emergency medicine physician. Social media users took to the comments section to share their thoughts about this situation. The following views are that of members of the public and not of the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Cardina said, as a woman in law enforcement in a male-dominated field, every time I hear these stories, I feel a sense of pride and reassurance that I cannot fully explain. Rhonda said, sending congratulations to you from Barbados. I am proud of any Caribbean woman who does well. May God continue to bless and keep you. Tiny said, a big congratulations to her. I keep telling folks that the military has lots of opportunities. It's not about war and fighting. Because of the military army, I have the opportunity I have today. Folks don't understand. Cicely said, from Little Grenada, a third world country, Grenada has contributed and is contributing all over the world in all fields. Grenada, may God bless you. Camille said, I love the fact that she drew attention to the foundation set at the primary school level. Kudos to her and her achievement. Alex added, a small island does not matter. You have the brain. So don't look at it as that small Grenadian girl. Look at yourself as a human. That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Let's mingle and jingle.
You mean jingle and mingle, right?
Does it really matter? Mingle and Jingle, the mid-morning program that will drive the Christmas season. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio, GBN Television, and all GBN social media platforms.
It's where the deals of the season are, where the Christmas music is played, holiday traditions are relived, and where all the fun is.
Mingle and Jingle.
Or Jingle and Mingle. Mid-mornings from November 14th to December 23rd only on the GBN network.
Made possible by
Flow,
West Hall Rums,
Hard On Plus,
Duty Free Caribbean Holdings,
Ace Hardware,
Gittins Healthcare, and
Grenville Credit Union.
Sound that's ever
Grenada's chief medical officer has ordered that all confirmed positive COVID-19 individuals, their contacts, and members of their household must remain in quarantine or isolation for 14 days. Anyone who fails to comply with this order will be in breach of the Public Health COVID-19 Regulations 2020 and is guilty of an offense. Upon summary conviction, that person will be liable to
folks, good morning. 11 minutes gone past the of 7 o'clock, and those of you just joining us, well, you've just made the right choice. We're with you anywhere and everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? All right, I want to say good morning to some good people. The McQueen family of the Corinth in St. David, Mr. Leon and Miss Merrill, good morning to you all. And I want to say good morning to my good friend Zilon. How you doing, Papi? Welcome back. I missed you, man. Good. Toya, good morning to you too. And next door, Miss Rhonda and Bernard and Hannah and like a screamer, good morning to what's her name again? Can't remember her name now. You know, I'm getting Randa. Right, and Princess, good morning to you all. As a matter of fact, good morning to all the wonderful folks inside of Corinth in St. David. All right, that's the village this morning. Corinth, you're the village this morning. Good, so now this morning, as I hinted to you earlier, I want us to, I want us to zero in on gender-based violence. I wish someone from Legal Aid and Counseling or someone from that fraternity can call in onto the program as well. I want to hear, the opinions of folks out there. We just have the verdict, all right, of the gentleman, Randy, I think it's his name. Let me double check. And we also have this issue, this incident from yesterday, man. This is, Randy John. He's found guilty of murder. And yesterday, we had another gruesome one, a gruesome homicide in Beaton. And I really want to hear your calls. I want to hear your opinions. And let it be something of a uplifting fashion, all right? Okay, I know there will be folks who are angry. I listened to some people yesterday very angry with the judicial system because of previous incidents as it relates to that and so forth. But let's keep it. Remember, there are children involved, there are families involved, all right? We prefer to create a sort of comfort zone, all right? But you got to speak your mind. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Morning, Joseph, and how are you?
I am alive and thankful. How are you?
Thank God for life this morning. Good to hear your voice.
Same here.
God bless you, and you have a blessed day. But I want to talk about this incident yesterday. Because the person who committed the crime, his sister is my best friend. When she called me yesterday, she said, Ellen, girl, I said, what happened to you, Clarice? What happened? She said, news, bad news. I said, what the bad news is? She said, my brother, he killed his children mother. No, this is not right. You gave her life. You help bring life into the world, and then you take it away from her. Why do you do this to your children mother? She's your children mother. She's there to look after them. You take the life away that God gave to her. Who would be there to look after the children? No mommy to turn to. And daddy is a criminal. He's outside there, running away from the police now, knowing that he did something wrong. What is wrong with these people?
The evil forces, man. The evil forces at work.
But Satan busy.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Satan is
that's the idea.
Looking after Satan, people must wait for God. Come to God in prayer. He says, love one as I have loved you.
Okay.
You didn't give life. You don't take life what you cannot give.
All right.
Everybody must have a saying in what happened yesterday, because I know it started for every mother this morning.
Yeah.
So they lost their daughter and their grandchildren. Still suffering with their mom.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You too. Good. Bye-bye. Yeah, that is where I want us to look, the spirits that are involved, I mean, come on, man. 15 minutes after 7, 435-2041. I think I jumped the gun. I should have had my television guy pull that clip. Maybe we can do that. Just take a little excerpt from it.
A 12-member jury, after deliberating for 30 minutes, determined that Randy John is guilty of capital murder of 16-year-old Quinette Johnson. Jerry Edwin, the lawyer representing John, says he argued that his client was not liable for capital murder, but the jury decided otherwise. He told GBN that justice was done in this case and spoke to the next phase of the matter.
This is justice, and justice was done in this case. The next step involves obtaining a social inquiry report as well as a psychiatric report. That is the normal procedure whenever a person is convicted of murder in this jurisdiction, whether that murder is capital or non-capital. And on the 20th of December, the judge will sentence him.
Edwin says he will not argue with the jury's verdict, but intends to argue on his client's behalf to not have a life sentence behind bars.
I will argue that he is not entitled, because of his age and other factors, that young Randy John is not entitled to a full life sentence behind bars. The judge is the judge of the law. The jury is the judge of the facts. And the judges of the facts have determined my client's guilt. With respect to the sentence, well, we will argue before the court why he should not be given a full life sentence. And then it is up to the judge to determine what Randy's sentence will be.
Quinette was last seen on Thursday, 18th October 2018, when she left her home to visit relatives in Defu Springs, following a dispute with her sister. Her partially decomposed body was later found in a vacant house in Charlottesville in St. David on the 25th of October. The autopsy conducted revealed that Johnson died as a result of asphyxiation and was believed to have died between the 19th and the 28th of October 2018. Johnson was a former student of both St. Joseph's Convent and Westerhall Secondary. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Yeah, that's so sad, huh? That's so sad. And like I said, I want the conversation to be on this morning, not specifically on the incidents, all right, but what can be done to curb such incidents in the future. Good morning, caller. Hello, good morning. Okay. Other number to call, 435-2041. Tisha John out there in Aperture, good morning to you and the entire family. Hope all is well. Aperture, good morning. Yeah. 435-2041. That's the number to call. Yeah, I wish, maybe at a later program, I will invite the director of the Legal Aid and Counseling Clinic, Mr. Tyrone Buckmeyer, to come and have a conversation. These are conversations that need to be had, Yeah, I do believe that. Good morning, caller.
Yes, Mr. Innocent, good morning. You said something there that kind of triggered me. The forces are at work, the spirits are at work. A lot of times, a lot of crime and violence take place, and we blame it on the individual because that's the person we could see. But the real force is those that we cannot see, and that is them diabolic forces, evil spirits. And that is where I don't understand, where is the church? When I say the church, I say it in inverted commas. The church is responsible for the spiritual uplifting of the nation, but you're not hearing them. I listened to a pastor on GBN, I think it was Friday, and he said exactly what the weaknesses are, what is happening in the body of Christ. People need deliverance, people need spiritual help, but there is no way they're going to get it, because those who are supposed to be, those who say they are called by God, they have a gift of this and they have this, seeing them, you're not hearing them. And people are suffering with demonic forces, demonic spirits, and nobody to help. Grenada not only talking God in the lips, but in the heart, God does not dwell. Because if God was dwelling in the hearts of Grenadians, things would be different. And what I notice now, you hardly hearing about God. They don't want to teach about the Bible in school. I grew up with the Bible. Mostly all the scriptures that I know by heart is in primary school, in the St. John's Anglican School, because the principal made sure that every morning the scripture is read, so children know that there is a God. They know that they have to, how they're supposed to behave, and they know that God is watching and God is taking note, and they have to give account to God for the deeds and what they do. They knew that from children growing up. So we were so suspect. You hear people used to say, if it wasn't for God, how would that be? Yeah. And if it wasn't for God. So we have to have God, unless this nation don't turn back to God, not religion. Religion is a curse. Religion and politics have the world upside down. We need Christ. We need Jesus in our hearts. He is the one that will make the change. And as long as we don't go back and bring our children, even in our schools now, and you don't hear people talking all kind of things about making laws, doing this, doing that, but you don't hear them talking about God. Laws don't change our heart.
All right.
Laws will change our heart.
All right.
God.
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller. Thanks. 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. As a colleague and I were talking this morning, this is 6 homicides for the year. The year is almost done. And he was saying, we haven't done too badly. And I'm saying, that's 6 too many that we had, I would love to see us go through a year with 0 homicide. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. What the caller was saying a while ago, yes, it is necessary. The nation is supposed to know God and fear God, honor God with due respect. Now, what is happening now, as the Lord says, righteousness exalts a nation. Sin always brings a reproach. And I realize that they are encouraging devils into the nation, because you see this thing about this Halloween and talking about scary moments and things. These are demons. And when you encourage it in a nation, the devil take position and cause this destruction to take place into the flesh.
So let me ask you this question: How do we tie them in? How do we tie in the Halloween events and so forth with these incidents that we have?
Well, at least Satan. These are satanic things, and if Satan is in these things, his strategy is to destroy, kill, or steal. And any one of these things, when you encourage this and take and abhor it into whichever atmosphere, and the devil takes position, he calls to do some kind of destructiveness in whatever way. So they need to have God and acknowledge God and follow after God's policies, that the nation will be uplifted. Righteousness.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller. It's 23 minutes after 7 o'clock. I am yet to hear somebody speak out as to how the children and the families involved should be dealt with, I'd love to hear that. What do we do? How do we reach out to them? What's done is done. As it sounds blunt, but that's the reality of the situation. It's already done. It cannot be undone. What do we do going forward? Let's go to the phone. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Welcome to the program.
All right, 3 little tips today. Concerning this thing with the death of the people there, I know for sure, not for sure, but I think and I know that many times it has happened. You see the public and friends and who are around, it's maybe 2 times one to do this and say this and that, and they do that, and they pump it up, not aware that they don't know what it will result to. So sometimes it's better to talk good things to people and save pain. That is one. Then the next thing with the schools. For years now I was wondering why it is the rebuilding school and the patching school. And every time when a disaster is coming, you're hearing Bel government school, this government school, and that is shelter. So just from that, we're supposed to know that any school construction now would be a new design and very strong hurricane resistance. That is how school's supposed to be, because we're using them for more than one things, right? Secondly,
that's thirdly.
Yes, thirdly, I witnessed something over the weekend, and even the eldest pastor is in the age of 90, and he confirmed it's a force, it's a history, and it's a surprise. 2 sisters marry the same day, the same time. It's the mother birthday. It was a big celebration, and then with all this bridegroom and nice clothes and gown and all this thing on the head, they went straight to the sea with all their clothes for the first bath. That is a history, and I think the pastor even confirmed it in his whole of his life. This is the first time he witnessing that in Grenada, and I think that was all in all over the Caribbean. It's a first too. Thank you. It's a history and a first.
All right, thank you, caller. Okay. Nice. "26 after 7 o'clock, and I'd love to hear from you. Like I said, how do we reach out to the families? All right. There's a question that should be asked, and a situation that should be addressed as well. From His Majesty's prison, right? The administrative arm of it. Shouldn't there be a sort of outreach to, past inmates, because it is a known fact that the gentleman was incarcerated previously for a similar offense, and making it was to the same person. So maybe there should have been some sort of mentoring or something. Any case. Good morning.
Yes, so I have to come back, but you ask a question: how should the children and the family of the deceased be treated? This is a time for sincere and serious prayer. They should talk to the family. They have counselors, psychological counselors, and whatever counselors. They don't mention God. But God is the only true remedy for every situation. So they should be praying for the family, encourage them to receive Christ into their hearts, because when Christ is there, He is able to heal. He is able to give them a better life. He is able to give them a better thoughts. They don't have to carry the burden that they have acquired, because they're not responsible for it, but they don't have to carry. Jesus will carry the burdens. Innocent, no matter what people say, if people who don't have Christ in their heart, don't have God in their thinking, don't care whether God exists or not, they are possessed by the other man, the enemy of our souls. And Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So those who like to go to him for what they want, a lot of people create things on themselves, because they instead of going to God, they go to the devil. And the devil aim and objective and purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy. He doesn't have anything to give. He doesn't have anything to offer. If he gives you something, it's for your soul. And when he give it to you and you receive it, before you know it, you take it back to go and give somebody else, because you don't have anything. Okay. So people need God. Grenada, you need God. Turn back to God. And please, Minister of Education, get God back in our schools. Let the Bible, not religion, talking about religion and denomination, get the Word of God into the children and let them know there is a God that they have to give account to after they leave the earth. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. And I happen to know that the Minister of Education, he himself is a great counselor. So I know I know he's a good gentleman. I know him well. He's someone that I call friend. So I know he will make the necessary outreach to the families. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Welcome to the program.
And how are you, sir?
I am alive and thankful.
Please stay so. Have a good day. No, I'm feeling sad every time I hear those things. Somebody take another one's life. But you know something? When we listen to how let me say plain and simple, our leaders behave to one another, rile up, so supporters rile up the citizens, these things is bound to happen. We have broken down socially. But not only this, what is causing a lot of these things is the economy. People are stressed out because they doesn't have the finances to take care of their life. You know, we talk so much different things. Spending monies, putting people to job. But what I'm not hearing is the economy. All these things is caused by the failure for governments over the years to pay attention to development, the expansion of the economy. You want to spend money, but you can't put people to work. You want to spend money, but the revenue falling, the society, the citizen, in other words, the population is falling. It's no longer 110. It's falling. Cost is rising. Those things will get worse. I would want to say more emphasis on how are we going to expand the economy? How are we going to put our young people to work? The young fathers and young mothers have too much stress dealing with their young children. And those children is more or less astray. It is the economy that is doing that. If you can put your people to work and you can give them the salary, it's all well and good saying we want more money and you go increase the minimum wage, you know. But when you increase the minimum wage to a higher level, where are you getting the money from to pay? Where will you source the money from to pay higher wages? The economy has to do those things through commerce. We have to get it right. We could change leaders as much as we want. Once our leaders doesn't get it right and don't understand it is the economy which has to deliver, we'll always be in this mess.
Okay, let us try to make a merger. How do you think the condition of the economy, the performance of the economy now, could have led to something as what happened yesterday? And not just yesterday. Remember, I'm not just talking about yesterday, but we also have the young Randy John being sentenced. And as I said, there are 6 homicides in Grenada thus far for the year. How does the performance of the economy tie into that?
I don't know you too long, but I know your radio personality. And if you have been listening to radio over the last 40 years, right, you perhaps would hear this voice over and over and over saying leadership, roles and responsibility, accountability for the citizenry. You also heard I said that the citizens, we have damaged the youth. The population is damaged as a result of the way our leaders behave. Take, for instance, the campaign. Even in Parliament, listen, we have damaged the society, we have damaged the youth, and there is a socio-collapse. There is a socio-collapse, and I have been pointing out for quite a number of years. Somebody not listening, and if they don't listen, why don't we take action? We have to pay attention to the well-being of people. We are not focused sufficiently on the well-being of people. Parents, fathers and mothers are not in a position to take care of their children. They're not even in a position to take, as a result of the economy. The economy is not growing. Can't we see this? It is not growing.
Okay.
What discussion are we having with the business people coming together with a view to getting the economy going? What strategy are we putting in place? We're talking a lot of wages. We talk a lot of money. Yes, it's all well and good talking to them. But how do you raise those things? How do you get it? By loans and high prices in the food in supermarkets? This will not work. We have to grow the economy, putting it to be creating jobs and delivering good wages for people to take care of their lives. If we cannot do that, let me tell you, what we see happening here, let me tell you, is not even the tip of the iceberg. I said it many years ago. We're sitting on a socio-time bomb, and it seems that our leaders not getting it at all. We're not getting it right.
Okay, caller.
Have a good day.
All right, yeah, you too. God bless. Bye-bye. All right, folks, it's 26 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We take a commercial break and we come back on the flip side.
folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
It's Soca Parang Indie Basket, the Spice Basket. Saturday, 5th November, featuring from Trinidad, Grunta, Baron, Marcia Miranda.
Darling, look, it's Christmas, a special time of year.
From Grenada, Taraku String Band, Hassan Leke and Steve Theodore. Get your early bird ticket for $60 after you pay $80 and more at the door. And are available at Chucky's Bar, Brendan on the Terminal, Grenada Optical in St. George's, Gittins Pharmacy Grenville, Gittins Healthcare Grandance, Chai's Bar St. Mark's, Nick and Bites Quav, St. David's Pharmacy, Calico Shopping Center, Main Street, Sutiers. It's another Chucky's promotion.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Welcome back, folks. It's 21 minutes on to the 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock workers, you should be close to work. All right, 15 minutes is the time you should be there before that you can settle in and start producing at 8 o'clock. All right, we've got a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Welcome to the program.
I call in the last caller there. What the economy has to do with this man murdering the woman? I want to know. This man was in prison for harassing the woman. He come back out, he kill her. What the economy has to do with that? The man didn't have God in him.
Okay.
That man didn't have no God in him. Because if you go in there for a crime and you come back out and you still do the same thing, you do it. What the economy has to do with that? Every time he call, he talking about the economy and you're letting him take up so many times when people have good points to call and make.
Okay.
I don't know what the economy has to do with it. Serious.
All right, so don't you agree with one of the points that he made that... Okay, the caller left. All right, no problem. I tend to understand what the caller was saying, you know. But as for the exact timing with this sort of situations, financial burdens can create a lot of problems. When you have things to do and there's no cash to do it, then, you know, but in any case, I want you to tell me. 20 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I just wanted to call about. I know this is not a topic this morning, but yesterday one of your callers, I think it might have been the last caller, call and talk about digitization and all of that. God gave man the knowledge, and everything she's talking about is God, God, God. Right?
Let me ask you this. Is there anything wrong with talking about God?
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but all I'm saying is God say this, God say that. God, are we really living according to what God said? You know, and want to push things down people's throat. This thing about digitization, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's not antichrist and all of that.
Okay.
As she's trying to make it appear.
All right.
Right?
Okay. So let me ask you this now. All right. I gave you the leeway to kind of rewind a bit, but come forward to this session this morning. What is your take on, I'm not just talking about what happened yesterday, but we have 6 homicides already for the year.
8. Yesterday brought it to number 8.
Yesterday brought it. Okay, well, my bad. Thanks for the correction. What do you think can be done to get a 0 rating on that?
Reintroduce capital punishment.
You think that would be the best deterrent?
Come on, look at the Muslim countries in the East.
Okay.
Right? Look at the socialist countries.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, caller.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. All right, good. 18 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Reintroduce capital punishment. Wow. Good morning.
Good morning, Innocent.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. It's a complex question and answer to be given to you, the point that you're asking. But it has multifaceted components to it in terms of how you solve that problem. It does involve the economy as well. As you rightly said, these certain things are not, a man cannot put food on his table, then that creates problems. The economic situations create a lot of other problems. So they are all hinged. But I don't think I can give you a direct one answer as to what can be done. But there's one of the things, anger management is part of it as well. From how you treat your conflict or you treat conflict situations. I think that
conflict resolution.
Yeah, conflict resolution. How you treat that, or how you deal with that, you know. And I don't think we as a people is very versed on, you know, resolving our conflict with one another. So that is one of the issues. But I want to make a suggestion to that gentleman who talked about the economy and all of those things. I think he has very good ideas. I listen to him all the time. And I want to suggest that he makes some of those suggestions directly, even if maybe not directly to the government, but he put it out there so that people hear it and they could be able to identify with some of these suggestions. Because he's talking about, he's so abstract, he's not there, he's not direct as to what you could do. He seems to have ideas.
Okay.
But what it is that you can do, I mean, put it out there. I mean, and maybe someone might hear, and it can be tried. I mean, but when you just talk about the economy and economy and economy, but you're doing that in a closed shop, it doesn't really give anybody any leeway to sort of explore what you're talking about. So that would be my suggestion to you.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Have a good one. Good. Bye-bye. 16 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That's what I like about Grenada and the level of democracy that we practice, you know. Everyone has an opinion, and someone's opinion is not necessarily wrong. That's their opinion. Okay, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, in a sense.
Welcome.
Yes, you know, one of the callers alluded to socialist and Muslim countries in response to homicides. So is he giving an impression that we don't have homicides happening in those countries? You know, because look where you're sitting, that we wouldn't get those reports coming from those countries. And the gentleman said about there are different aspects, and you know, I feel the pain because, one of the things, talk about the young girl where the guy is to be sentenced. Innocent, what I always look at? I remember when there was one from a Hermitage there. Our current Governor General is a woman. And I asked, what potential did we kill there? And my final point is the way we treat our fellow human beings. There's a saying that you can win, you can defeat me. It's easy for you to defeat me, but it's going to be hard to win me. Some men in positions, innocent, they take advantage of other men. They could see themselves pride in how they could make you feel small. And we know what impact that has. Something to think about. Have a good day.
You too, caller. You too. And that's very true. Sometimes people use their positions of influence to belittle others, and sometimes the ones who are being belittled do not have the mental stability to reason it out, and they resort to physicality. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Innocent.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the line. Are you getting a feedback before I start?
No, not yet.
All right, okay. Well, what we have to do, right? I don't know what happened, but we have to pray for them children. Even them children is a minor, because it's not easy when you lose your parents as a minor. And all what we have to do, pray for them and help them. And I hope Ms. Jeremiah is listening me. Right, but the word what the guy just used, right? When they feel they're bigger than you, they feel they could do what they want. So you take it over on the air. Back to you, Mr. Innocent.
Thank you very much, caller. Have a good one. Yeah, this domestic violence and anger management, and the general mode of violence is something that, in my opinion, has to have a multi-pronged approach to dealing with it. We would like to see more communications, outreach in communities, social workers going out into the communities and getting a feel on the ground as to, some of the bothers, some of the concerns, and find proactive ways to deal with them. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Innocent.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Every one of us want to be a hero. Everybody want to see that I'm learned, educated. But the thing that causing all the problem in the world is education. Now, when you talk about education, everybody want to say that he believe he educated or he believe he has sense. Now, to change anything in the world, even in Grenada, although Grenada is part of the world, you have to respond adequately to a situation. Whether a man cough you shouldn't try to kill him. Maybe you have to reason and say, you see me, don't cough in him or I don't shoot in him because I have to, I may go to prison. So the first thing is education. You must be able to make a reasonable decision. So in other words, you must make the right decision. You may want to do something, but you have to reason. And if you are not educated, I'm not talking about higher education, In other words, if you are not fit to live and fit to live with, then you will do the wrong thing. People have a tendency to believe that they're talking about the Bible. How would you know what is right from wrong if you are not educated? In other words, if you cannot analyze things, that's the only how you would be able to know what the Bible says and live up to the Bible. Which one of you all don't want to be a hero? Maybe the person that killed or the people that killed, they want to be a hero, and that's what they know. Or other people might say, by you letting that happen, and you cannot reason. So you say, you see me, they like me.
Okay.
But when you kill, do they like you? In fact, as far as I'm concerned, leaders somewhat help to be responsible for what is likely to be happening. But Don't blame it on leaders. We have good leaders. We have bad leaders in the church. Some of them set bad example because they want the best protocol, and yet they're talking about price same or distribute evenly.
Okay.
You have people, they want the biggest house, and yet they're talking about love. I'm not saying that they have to give the other people the money, you know. Thank you, anyhow.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great day. 10 minutes on to 8 o'clock. That's the time. Back to the telephone line. Good morning.
Oh, yes, just a 2 minutes. Once again, I want to say to the caller who are critical of me, let us stop quarreling with one another, because I want them to understand that I am on the ground. So when I talk about growing the economy, you have to have a start. Without the economy, you could do nothing. And so you have to try to understand what is an economy and what we have to do with the economy instead of criticizing. You know,
there's someone that called. A number of persons called after you made the comments, right?
I know.
And one of them suggested that maybe you can try to get your ideas across to the relevant people, and because he's of the opinion that you have brilliant ideas.
No, I'll tell you something. I do a lot of writing. If you see, maybe this guy don't know me, and he don't listen over the years, right? I do a lot of writing to all and sundry, from the Prime Minister writing. So I give ideas, but I am on the ground. I spending thousands of dollars showing an example of what we have to do effectively. It is creating a lot of jobs. It is creating a lot of wealth.
Okay.
So I'm on the ground.
All right.
You have to start with infrastructure. That is the base.
Okay.
Infrastructure will cause expansion of new businesses. It create expansion of the agriculture sector.
Mm-hmm.
You create the expansion of the tourism sector. It creates manufacturing. So it's right across the board. I give these ideas over and over on paper.
Okay.
And I also do it practically.
Okay.
If he come to my video St. David's and he asks questions,
all right,
he will see that.
But caller, what I can assure you is that in the not too distant future there will be forum for where you can make more in-depth contribution. All right, and we look forward to that. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good one. Okay. It's 7 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We've got a caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm very well, thanks. And how are yourself? I see you drinking coffee there. Can I have some, please?
My coffee is so strong that you smell it. How you knew it was coffee?
Well, I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Right.
That's my third cup for the morning.
No, my son-in-law brought me a cup of coffee this morning.
Okay.
I had that, and then I left for work.
Okay.
Now, hear this. Mr. Innocent, I'm in agreement with the decision that they found the guy guilty. The other thing is, will they give him a certain time in jail and then put him out under some issue? I just hope not. That's one. Two, now we're talking about killing and killing and killing. Now remember, I don't know, I do not have the solution to the problem, because killing starts from Adam and Eve. Remember, Cain killed Abel. That's the first place it started. And I don't want to move on to Abraham and so on. But the church, people saying the church and the church. But hear this, the church having crusade, open air, night meetings, the people not coming out. What I'm trying to say, the church is not really to be bashed. They're preaching, the pastor, you're going out, you're inviting the people, you're meeting them on the level. They keep refusing to listen. They're passing by the church, they will stop the music, they will stop and put on the music so loud. So it's not really the church. I think maybe there is some churches that, lackadaisical, I don't know, but I know that the churches, they are trying their very best. So I do not know what is the solution to that problem. I don't think it's the economy that's going to make make somebody so angry that he go kill his child mother. And the other thing is that I also don't believe that this is the first time that guy lay his hand. I don't know if it's a wife or a girlfriend. So the only thing I can say, young people, whether you're married or you don't married, the first time you see the guy have anger manage, he cannot control his anger. Try and walk if you could, because as soon as they see you pick up 2 pieces of clothes, they're ready to kill you. So be smart, walk out smart, don't wait let him lay his hands on you. The second thing, if he lay his hands on you 1 time, don't let it be 2 times. Don't let the church tell you, we go pray for you and we go pray for you. Forget that. Go, leave this island, go to other parts of the world. Leave, go. Don't want to ever see or hear about this man again, ever. No forgiveness from you for that man. Mr. Innocent, have a blessed.
You too, my dear. You too. Okay. You had me cracking up, yeah. I just think that it should, I would love to see more participation and input from, civil societies and so forth, because making the comparison with what is happening around the region, all right, we're not doing too bad. But still, I still think that, whatsoever can be done, I am tempted to believe that it has to do with, the whole education process. And when we talk education, as my good friend likes to say, it's not about the degrees and, the maths. Education is preparing you for life. And these are some of the eventualities of life, as it relates to anger. I can attest to this. I've been there, and it's supposed to be personal. You have to understand, you have to reach that educational level where you understand, but hey, this is not me, that I'm not that person. And, seek help, but at the same time, civil society can overstep and get more actively involved in the communities, I see no reason why a church group, not everybody likes to go where, the singing and the preaching is. But that's not all there is to church, How about interacting with them, befriending them, and then eventually, you will see some sort of changes, because it is said that birds of same plumage amalgamate, or birds of a feather flock together. If you're being friend with somebody and you're leading by example and so forth, showing them acts of kindness and so forth, making them feel important as well, because quite a number of times inferiority complex has a lot to do with it. Some people think that, okay, nothing good can come out of me, and so the anger is there, and nobody to talk to. You don't know how to express yourself. I've had situations, with, people coming and, how do you deal with this? I want to say, while at this, I want to say good morning to the pastor and members of the Birch Grove New Testament Church of God, Bishop George Fletcher and family. Good morning, the entire church family. Tanti, good morning. Hope all is well. Folks, this is where we have to wrap it up, but I can promise you that in the not too distant future, I will get Mr. Tyrone Buckmeyer or someone within that fraternity to come in and talk. Let's have a conversation. How do we reach out to people who are suffering with anger issues? Because the environment in which we live, you have to have some sort of tolerance and some sort of technique to deal with anger, because it's the atmosphere is it's laced with triggers. And if you're not taught to deal with the triggers, then things can happen. I am certain if the gentleman that was involved in that yesterday, if somebody had reached out to him before, get into his head what's happening, that could have been averted. Nonetheless, folks, this is where we have to wrap it up. We've got to join the BBC. Those of you who participated, thank you very much. And should the good Lord spare our lives, we'll have another conversation tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.